Do you need a YouTube official artist channel? Do you need and have to get verified on YouTube as an official artist? I'm going to be honest, not really. And I know this might blow a lot of people's minds. I've done a lot of videos about how to get a YouTube OAC, how to do it on DistroKid, the timeline of it, the process. But I'm going to be honest, there are some pros, also some cons as well. I'm going to be honest about the YouTube OAC. And I think for a lot of musicians, I wanted to bring this up because a lot of musicians have contacted me saying, hey, Mark, I'm trying to sign up. I'm having issues. Or I'm really trying to get that cool little note check mark to make sure and shows people that I'm verified on YouTube as an official artist. Do I have to do this? And the answer is not really. For a bunch of different reasons I'm going to get into on this video because I've noticed it in my DMs on Instagram, on the comments I get on this channel. Most of them, surprisingly, do revolve around the YouTube OAC. And I think it's because a lot of musicians want to have that verified account. It looks cool, right? Almost like street cred, so to speak. In addition, you could say, hey, I'm a verified artist on YouTube now. It's a cool feeling, right? But here's the honest truth on the other end of the coin. Here's the honest truth on kind of the back end. So first off, in terms of creating a YouTube OAC, I've done a bunch of videos about it. I've one listed below in the description. Basically, here's the main idea. You're going to have your own YouTube artist channel that you've already created. Then you have a topic channel that's auto-generated when you release music, and it goes on YouTube Music. And YouTube Music is a streaming service very similar to Spotify, Apple Music, Audio, Deezer, etc. Those then get merged into one YouTube official artist channel. Your subscribers get merged, which is a pro, right? You would now have a bit of an easier GUI. GUI meaning graphical user interface when it comes to YouTube, that now when someone goes to your YouTube channel, they have videos in terms of the videos that you've made, and then releases tab of the release that you have. Releases basically just meaning the songs that you've been releasing, right? And here's the thing that, yes, well, there are some advantages. One, like I said, the GUI is a lot more seamless. Two, with that note check mark, it screams and shows everybody, hey, this person is not just a regular YouTube channel, they're a musician, right? In addition, it's a pretty seamless way, I'd say, for the most part, to have your content kind of merged in terms of a very quick way for someone to go on your profile and quickly listen to your music if they want to, but then quickly watch your videos if you want to as well. And yes, it is enticing, right? If you look at pretty much every major artist, every major one, they have a YouTube OAC, right? But there are a couple of things I do want to say. Like, say you're having issues, and I know right now, this is the exact time of this video, it seemed like there are some issues with the YouTube OAC. I feel like it's far from perfect. I've had a tremendous amount of issues with the YouTube OAC and the official artist channel program. You know, obviously, I think there's a lot of benefits to it, don't get me wrong. But the truth is, one, do you need it to be a successful artist? No. Yes, YouTube is one of the biggest platforms in the world. It's the second biggest search engine, second just to Google. It's the number one entertainment search engine in the world. So there are a lot of benefits to having a YouTube OAC, but also, you can also just have a regular YouTube channel and a YouTube topic channel and get a lot of the benefits. So for me right now, in case you're curious, because I'm having a lot of issues, it's a whole other subject for a whole other video. I right now have my own YouTube channel that's just of my music that I've created, and I also have a topic channel. I've not merged them because I've had some issues. Doesn't really bother me because no matter what, your music is still going to be on YouTube, and I want to stress as a side note, your music should be being released on YouTube Music. I have had some people comment and contact me about this saying, hey, Mark, I'm releasing it on DistroKid. Do I have to put YouTube Music as a streaming platform or service or whatever? Yes, you should. And in addition to that, and it's an understandable question, a lot of people have said, well, hey, Mark, is it okay if I have my songs being auto-generated and posting on YouTube Music, but I also release my songs myself as well? Yes, not only you can, but you also should do both. You should have them auto-generated on YouTube Music as a streaming platform like Spotify, like I said, but also on your own YouTube channel that you made for you as an artist. You should definitely post there, right? And you can easily just do both and not have to have the OAC. Now, there are some advantages, like I said, when it comes to the OAC in terms of like benefits. You could put your concert dates, you can create a better profile, you can do some artist picture stuff. So there are a couple cool added features, especially with me being both a musician and a YouTuber. There are a couple added features to the YouTube OAC that make it better for musicians that are in YouTube Studio, which kind of like the back end of YouTube, that make it better. On the other end, as someone who's big on analytics, because that's, I think, kind of the bread and butter, the name of the game when it comes to being a YouTuber specifically, is like looking at your YouTube studio, your demographics, your analytics, seeing like what is doing well, what isn't. I gotta be honest that the analytics side of the YouTube OAC, your YouTube studio changes a little bit. And I've not really talked about this, I think, in any other video. Maybe I have here and there, but not this in depth. But your YouTube studio or the backend or the analytics change a slight bit. And I'm gonna be honest, and I stress this word, hate the YouTube OAC analytics. The way that it gets changed, it's both subtle and not at the same time. I think it's way worse. Like, if anything, I like my analytics now not being a part of the YouTube OAC than when I was a part of the YouTube OAC. And yes, another thing I might as well say is SEO seems to be a little improved. YouTube has stated that if you have a YouTube OAC, that might rank your videos a little bit higher because it's you're now an official verified artist. Maybe there's a little bit of a boost. Tough to say because I've seen my videos do fine just as well as they've done before without the YouTube OAC. So it's not, I feel like, as necessary as people make it out to be. I mean, so again, there's a lot of tricky things that come down to this. But what I want to say for a lot of musicians out there is remember, like, YouTube is very powerful. But you don't have to have a YouTube OAC to be successful on YouTube as a musician. You can easily create your own profile, have those songs be auto-generated and put on the other side on YouTube Music, right? And if you look at, like I said, all the different ways people are going to discover your music. You have SoundCloud, you have Spotify, you have Apple Music, you have a million other sources as well. And so I wanted to make this video to kind of make this important point that there are some things, for example, I think as musicians that you do have to do. If someone came to me and they're really trying to put their music out there and get it heard and try to make it as a musician, there are some things I think you have to do. Having to have a YouTube OAC is definitely not one of them. And that's why I want to make this video, because I've had a lot of musicians contact me, almost kind of not scared, but being like, hey, Mark, I really need that YouTube OAC. I really need it. How do I get it? I'm having issues. It's not as pressing. Like, if anything, I'd say, one, make sure your music is everywhere. Like I said, definitely do not uncheck YouTube Music when it comes to releasing music, whether you're on TuneCore or DistroKid or whatever. Do not uncheck that. Make sure you put your music in as many places as possible. Make sure you also release your music manually yourself as an artist. That way you can SEO it better. I've done videos about how to do this. I'll post a video like that in the description of how to like boost your music on YouTube. You should be doing that as well, right? Regardless if you have a YouTube OAC or not. But in terms of having the check mark and everything, I think sometimes it's kind of like this feeling of like being left out or FOMO. Like there's a secret club and you're not a part of the secret club. Being honest, the YouTube OAC, in my opinion, as someone, again, who's both a musician and a YouTuber with everything I know, one, I think it's a bit overhyped. I don't think it's that useful as a tool. Yes, there, I think, are some really good GUI things, and there are some benefits to it. Don't get me wrong. There are some things I really like about it. Not the craziest thing. I think the craziest thing, I think, for most musicians, like I've said a couple times already, is having that note check mark. Because it's like being verified. It's like how, I mean, it's kind of different now, but how back in the day, everyone wanted that blue check mark on Twitter, or now X or whatever. Now you can kind of pay for it, so it's kind of lost its clout, in my opinion. It's one of those things where, as cool as it seems at first, I think that the benefits are not as prominent where I'm like, you have to be a part of it. I think the biggest thing that you do have to be a part of, and the biggest thing that you do have to do, ignoring the OAC and ignoring that, because like I said, right now I don't have an OAC because I've had some issues, is making sure you are on YouTube. That comes first. That's 99% of, I think, the biggest thing you have to do is be on YouTube, release your music, SEO it. Even if it's like, let's say your album artwork and it's like a static image with the song and that's it. So it's more of just like a picture with a song behind it. Even still, that's going to help rank you a lot better and get your music out there to get it heard more.